This is the Ultimate Fighter Championship matchup. This is the finale right here, brother. I don't care what you say. Yes, Gilbert Urbina, he got the nod when Gore had a knee injury. He couldn't fight. But Bryan Battle versus TRESEAN Gore. TRESEAN Gore kind of being the #1 seed versus the B side in Bryan Battle. This is the fight that we needed to see right here, brother. And I am so happy because I told you I'm a little bit of a, I like my, well, how would you say, soap operas for men. You know what I mean? The Ultimate Fighter, that's what it is, brother. It's just a little drama reality show for men. And I watched all of it, brother. I watched it from beginning to finish, and I think that this is going to be a banging matchup, especially because Bryan Battle. Talk about a story. That's really what it comes down to. Talk about a story. Last pick on the Ultimate Fighter. Came in, lots of belly fat, not really too in shape, man. If you look at him now, the man is chiseled. He's got a camp. He is focused. And I think it's because it's one of those things where you don't know how good you are until you surprise yourself. You go in there and you get the dubs and you're like, damn, I didn't know I could do some of this stuff. Or you did know you can do it, but you needed to see it to actually be able to put 2 and 2 together. Either way, AJ, how do we describe this bout? We have TRESEAN Gore, who disrespect once again, right? No headshot. Come on, man. What are we talking about? But we have TRESEAN Gore, who is an incredible striker, brother. I have literally, this is what I have. I have lightning fast hands and kicks. Lightning fast. I mean, when you watch the man kick, it's devastating. When you watch him punch, it's devastating. And those calf kicks, for sure. But Bryan Battle, you have a dude who is a little more well-rounded. Great takedown defense. He can submit you from basically anywhere. So long. Great teep kicks. Able to keep the distance. Long, rangy striker who has some real pop in his shots. And I can never forget the Andre Petroski fight at the Ultimate Fighter where he knees Andre Petroski in the head, and Petroski says something like, "Oh, illegal shot, da 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 da," you know what I mean? And then they watch the replay, and it was a knee, and he literally looked across from him. He's like, "You're a fucking bitch, bro. What's up?" And came up, and they was like, "Scrap," you know what I mean? But I was like, Bryan Battle, I was like, "You're a savage, brother. Like, you come to scrap." I love to see it because Andre Petroski, who is also in the UFC, that's a scary individual, brother. I don't care. You standing against that man, that is a scary man to fight. So Bryan Battle strikes me as the man with no fear in his heart. How do you think he fares against TRESEAN Gore in this unofficial Ultimate Fighter finale?
Man, this I'm glad you brought up that moment because that's when I saw that Bryan Battle had some dog in him. He saw it, he's like, "Man, you a bitch." I was like, "Oh shit, all right, Battle's got some heat. All right, man." That's really when I started to get the fandom for Bryan Battle. But honestly, man, this is gonna be a very fun fight. If Battle can take it to the ground, I think we're gonna see something different from TRESEAN Gore. But he needs to avoid the power, man. The power and the speed of TRESEAN Gore is something different. The only qualm I have with TRESEAN is he thinks a little bit too much, man. You can see him in there kind of battling out like, okay, I know I need to feint the jab and then come over with the 2, but when do I do it? When does it work? Oh, is this going to work? You can see him thinking in there and not necessarily just going with the flow. Unless he's changed things a lot in his camp and he's gotten better after the knee injury, he's feeling healthy, then we're going to see a very fun, very impactful fighter and very, very strong, man. So if I have to break this one down, man, I think it's going to be a striking battle until Bryan Battle gets hurt. Then he's going to try to work the bottom. If Battle's smart, then he's going to try to work the takedown the entire time. But TRESEAN Gore does have very good takedown defense, and his hips are strong, man. He can get out. He can see things coming. He's just a little bit I always praise the cerebral fighters when you see a fighter that can think and analyze, but he's the wrong kind of cerebral where he doubts what he's thinking and what he's seeing instead of trusting and going forward. Maybe we see something different. Maybe TRESEAN Gore surprises me in this one. He comes out fluid, looking like the style bender. But I think there's going to be a lot of growth in TRESEAN Gore's career coming forward, and I actually think he's going to be around for a very long time. What do you think?
Okay, I mean, I like the assessment on that one, man. I think that TRESEAN Gore, agree with you. He thinks a little bit too much in there, man, and that's an interesting way of putting it, like kind of doubting your abilities when you're in there, when in reality, you just got to let it go, you know what I mean? Just like how the Mike Perry, right? Just go, you know what I'm saying? Mike Perry's like, fuck, you go, I'm not trying to get hit right now. Maybe he got a little bit of that in TRESEAN Gore, but at the end of the day, when he does let go, it's just vicious. His nickname is Mr. Vicious for a reason, brother. And I think he has all the determination to make this a fun scrap, to make this a devastating matchup. Because when he hits you, brother, when he hit that left hook on Gilbert Urbina, he slumped the man. Like, it's not like a TKO. It's a knockout. You know what I'm saying? But Bryan Battle, brother, I honestly think all the momentum is on his side. I think that he should be the favorite in this fight, to be honest with you. So I wanted to ask you real quick. Minus 165 for TRESEAN Gore, plus 140 for Bryan Battle. Is this a live dog right here, AJ? I think of any of the fights that we have on this main card, when I looked at the odds on this one, I said, okay, what is it, the hype of TRESEAN Gore? Is it because how good he was on The Ultimate Fighter? Or is it, I don't know, what is it? Why are we not showing the love that we need to show to Bryan Battle? He showed us time and time again. I picked against him almost every time on The Ultimate Fighter, and he won every time. So it's like, what do you think this odds, like, what are the odds makers seeing here?
I think it has to be just going back to the Ultimate Fighter, man. I think TRESEAN GORE is the people's champ of the Ultimate Fighter,
Yeah,
and I think that's just kind of still rolling. And we haven't seen anything different because Gore's been injured. But I think Bryan Battle just doesn't necessarily have that star power, that thing that's going to draw you in to make you like him. I saw it in the Ultimate Fighter when he called that dude a bitch, but I don't think the rest of the UFC fandom has quite seen that yet, especially from his other fights. He came in, he fought Gilbert Urbina in the Ultimate Fighter finale. Wasn't necessarily that good of a win, and it didn't seem like they were scrappy. It just seemed like a contest. Where I think if TRESEAN GORE goes in there, he has a lot more of that dog that people like to see. So I think that's why he's still the favorite. But I do agree with you, Derek. I think the momentum is on the side of Bryan Battle, and I think this is a live dog, man. If you're looking to get a little bit of scratch some way, there's that 140 for Bryan Battle, and it's very the paper leads that way. He's better on the ground, he's better in the wrestling, he's more talented striking technically, but he just doesn't have that power that TRESEAN has.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I wanted to ask you here, on Tapology, on UFC Stats or whatever, they don't have a reach listed for TRESEAN GORE, but I found out what the reach is by rewatching the Ultimate Fighter. 73.5 inches is the reach for TRESEAN GORE, 77 inches for Bryan Battle. So Gore's going to have to get on the inside. How big of a problem or how difficult do you think it's going to be for TRESEAN GORE to try to get in on Bryan Battle, he has a great use of his teeps, like I said. He mixes up his body kicks and his head kicks almost seamlessly to where you don't know where it's coming. You just know a kick is coming. The key to a beautiful kick like that, and I'm sure that AJ, from the karate background, you bring the knee up first, and then the baseball bat is coming. You don't know where it's coming, but as long as that knee comes up, it's that element of surprise there. So how difficult of a task do you think that's going to be for TRESEAN GORE?
I think it's going to be pretty difficult, to be honest, man, because if TRESEAN is able to get on the inside, then Bryan Battle has the opportunity to get underneath and go for the takedown. It's going to be a little bit easier if Battle's hunting the takedown the entire time and TRESEAN's able to sit back and land some bombs. So I think it's going to be maybe not hard, but dangerous to be on the inside like that, because it gives options for both fighters to do what they're best at. Yeah. I think if TRESEAN is staying on the front foot the entire time and Battle is just staying on the back, kind of picking his shots, staying on the outside, it's going to be very hard for him to get actually in on the inside and land some damage. But if Bryan Battle is going for those takedowns, then it'll be a little easier for him, but a lot more dangerous in the fact that he can get taken down. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd agree with you right there. I do think TRESEAN GORE, we need to put some respect on his grappling capabilities, because I've watched some fights where he initiates grappling himself. He decides, I want to take your back. He had this incredible, brother. He did something that the only other person I've seen do this as of late was Rodolfo Vieira, one of the best black belts in the UFC, one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in jiu-jitsu period. But what he does is basically he grabs this overhook from kind of the side of you, and he literally jumps on you to put the backpack on, takes you to the ground, and rear naked chokes you all at the same time. Now, this is a fight that he ended up winning on a technicality, because the dude that he fought, he escaped the choke, whatever, the round ended, and dude's leg gave out, damn near broke on him or something. So Gore got the win or whatever. It was really crazy to watch, but that did surprise me. I was like, you're not just a striker. Okay, right on. Shout out, man. So ultimately, this is the People's Championship for the Ultimate Fighter. Yes, Bryan Battle does have the beautiful, whatever, just not diamond, but a crystal trophy or whatever. But this is really, in the eyes of the people, this is going to be the championship fight right here. Who do you have? Over and under is 2.5 rounds, brother. Who you got?
I'm going with the under, Derek, and I'm going TRESEAN GORE by knockout. Round 1. I think it's going to be a very fun, fast fight. And I'm taking a little bit ballsy of a pick here, to be honest with you, man. That KO round 1 is going to be hard for him to achieve, but I think he can get it done, man. I'm going Gore, KO, round 1, taking the under. What about you, Derek?
I love the confidence that you have behind TRESEAN GORE. But if there's one thing that I've learned from watching Bryan Battle fight, it's that he is a dog, and we do not need to be discounting the man. So even though I am going to roll with TRESEAN GORE, because every single time when I was watching him, I was like, this is the most exciting fighter to watch. This is the man who I think has the most potential, the most UFC-ready fighter is TRESEAN GORE, in my opinion. I think that's why he got the shot. Even though he pulled out of the championship fight, Dana White was like, yeah, brother, we know you're good to go. Heal up your knee. We'll get you back in there in a minute. But I do not think he's going to be able to finish Bryan Battle because of how much of a dog Bryan Battle has shown to be. And if you see him, like I said, he's jacked, he's cut, he's ready. He looks sharp and ready to go. He looks like people are counting him out, and he's ready to shut some people up. So I'm still going to go TRESEAN GORE, but I'm going to go the over, and I'm going to go decision on this one because we did see against TRESEAN GORE in his fight against I don't have the name in front of me right now because, you know, sometimes they don't really list them on ESPN when it's those exhibition fights, but it was one of those first Ultimate Fighter fights that he was just beating up on whatever his name was in the Ultimate Fighter.
The Ryder Newman?
Ryder, yes. He couldn't get the finish on that one, brother. He was picking him apart the whole entire fight, couldn't get the finish. So just because he has the power doesn't mean he's going to use it all the time, right? He's going to be safe. He's going to think it out a little bit. Decision win, TRESEAN GORE in my book. I'm taking the over on that one, brother.